Okay, not a circle. Do we just have circle here? Yeah. Okay, so we have learned about some resources, right? We have created some resources like virtual machine, eVault, those who joined yesterday. Then we have created some more resources, right? We have created storage account, right? And we have created virtual network, right? So how in real time we will be using, right? Let's say tomorrow I got a job, right? How this will look like in real projects, right? We have to understand that first, correct? So let's say what all resources we have created. Let me add some text here. We have created virtual machine, right? We have created a storage account, right? What all we have created? We have created, tell me, service name at least.
Virtual network.
Virtual network.
Yes, virtual network,
Subnets.
K-
subnets.
We
We have
have
performed
Key Vault.
peerings of
Peering is not a resource. Peering is kind of connection, you can say, settings, connection settings.
okay.
I'm asking about resources like virtual machine storage, VNet, subnet, and
Key Vault backup.
yeah, key vault. Any other resources? Active Directory users,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Any other thing?
Azure Monitor.
Monitor have we gone through? No. Okay. Okay. So virtual machine storage, VNet, subnet, key vault, AD users,
Backup
right? So
Recovery Service Vault.
we have not gone through that.
नहीं है?
And okay, that's fine. So if you remember our first or second class, right? Uh, when we were what we were doing, we were creating a virtual machine. Then we have enabled that virtual machine as a web server, right? Then we tried to access that web server, correct? Everyone remember that first day? Like what is the use of virtual machine, right? So virtual machine basically can be used as a the usage of virtual machine, right? We have it separate class
IIS
where
Web Server.
yeah, as a IIS web server, right? Or it can be used for either Active
Active
Directory.
Directory Domain Service.
We have gone through different roles and features, right? So what is the main component here? Actually, every component is main only, but most of the work will be on virtual machines, right? Let's say if my company is using virtual machine, correct? So we are using an application which is virtual machine based, or like we are using a virtual machine based basically application here, right? Which we call as entire something like that. Okay. So if I say VM, storage, subnet, key vault, AD, just everything has its own work here, right? VM will be storing my applications, right? Like we will be installing application on top of that, right? Storage is my data storing, right? VNet will provide me isolation from outside world, right? VNet and subnet, right? Key vault is to store secrets, right? And user who will have access to this VM. So what all options you have to create this and how they will do in a real world in let's say corporate world. Okay. So what they will do, they will try to create first a development environment, right? They will not go to the production right away, right? They will first create a development environment in companies, right? Those who are already working, they might understand, right? So they will create a development environment with all these resources, right? So this is first environment which we are creating, right? So this can be manual, this can be from CLI, or this can be anything, right? So these many resources are there in development, right? What all different way to create these resources?
Azure Resource Manager,
Okay.
PowerShell, Azure CLI,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anyone else
and
wanted to add something? Yes, Azure CLI. Okay, let me write it down, right? Let me add some text here. We have CLI, right? At least we are going in recent days, right? Try to participate. Please try to participate. CLI is the first thing, right? Which we are going recently, right?
yeah,
Portal, right? What else?
yeah,
Options.
PowerShell,
We
PowerShell,
have
Bastion,
PowerShell.
Awesome.
PowerShell. What all option we have?
ARM
Bastion.
templates,
ARM template. Anyone else? Ajit, you have any other options to create?
Terraform.
Yeah,
Yes.
Vikas,
Yeah. Yes.
can we do all the tasks which where we do through the portal? Can we do all the tasks of through the CLI?
Yes, of course. Even you can do more work using CLI than Portal. There are few tasks which you will not able to do in Portal, which you can perform using CLI and PowerShell, right? What all things we have? Do you have anything else?
No, 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 I don't have.
You remember first class we said you can use Python also for the automation, or there are so other language also, okay, which you can use, okay. So anyway, remove that. At least remember this many things, right? CLI, Portal, PowerShell, ARM template, and Terraform. Correct. So this is my dev environment, right? Where my developer will come. What developer will do first thing? They will start coding, right?
Yes, Vikas.
Oh yeah, where will you store code? We forgot the important thing here, right?
In the
We need
repository.
repository.
Yes.
We forgot that, right? Even I also forgot repository. Then what else? We need DevOps also, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the deployment. So let's say repository. Okay, what I have to do? I have to create a repository. I'm an admin, right? So repository also has to be created and access has to be given to these users, right? So that they can work on it, correct? They can store their code in that repository, right? So if you go to repository class, you will find what all details are there in repository, right? So it's like not just a single term here. Here we have written just virtual machine, but if you go to virtual machine, we have 6 or 7 classes on virtual machine, right? We have 5 classes on a storage account, right? So this will be just your introduction, right? How your project is look like. You will say you started with a dev environment, right? Where we have these many resources, right? Where we are using virtual machine storage, VNet, subnet, Key Vault, and we have DevOps repository and DevOps, right? Then you start expanding this VM, what all work you do in virtual machine, right? Or before that, you can say you are creating all these resources using CLI, right? Even CLI can be stored in repository, correct? So that is your dev environment. Your developer will write the code, you will create pipeline, you will deploy to virtual machine your application, then tester will test it and you will see everything is working fine in development or not, right? Parallelly, if everything is working fine in dev, you have to create one more environment, right? And what this environment will be? Again, this environment will be again same, right? We will have second environment, which we call,
Test.
yes, we can call it test, we can call it stage, we can call it UAT. Different company will call different thing.
Yeah, because we have all like test staging and last one is production.
Mhm. That's correct. So yeah, you are already in team, so that's correct. Like those who don't know or any project kind, this is the way we will be having, right? So we will be having one more environment. Once development is created, like completed, you will have a separate environment, and that will be your what all name you can say to second
Test
environment.
test environment or staging.
Just a minute. Yep. We can call the second environment as test environment, okay, or stage environment, or UAT, NL, pre-prod, okay. So what will happen? Why we are maintaining one more stage? Like there are three, but right now just discuss why we are maintaining this third option also, second option also. We could have deployed virtual machine here only. We could have used this only, right?
Because
Yes.
the word which you written below the test stage is
Hmm.
the synonyms of the test stage.
Not, I didn't get your question. Sorry.
I'm saying that the word you written below the test stage
Hmm.
is the synonyms of the test stage. Sorry, test stage.
No, it's not synonyms, right? It's like it's a separate. They you can say sometimes they can be used for those things, but it's not synonyms. Okay, it's like different type of calling name, kind of that we are saying. Okay, it's not synonym at all. Okay, 1 minute. Let me pack it little bit better so it will be easier for you people later on. Yeah. So basically, that's what we are trying to understand. Why we are maintaining these many environments, right? We are trying to understand that, right? So anyone has any idea why we are trying to maintain these many states? Any guess will be also fine.
Can you repeat your question?
Why you are maintaining? Right now we have dev, right? Now you can see there is one more environment, this one, which is called test stage UAT or pre-prod. Any one name you can call this, right? Why we are maintaining two different? So right now we are going through software development life cycle, right? We are using agile method, right? Agree everyone?
Yes,
Yes.
Vikas.
Right. So in agile method, what will happen? We will do continuous integration and continuous deployment.
For
Correct?
development.
Correct. So before
Yes.
deploying to prod, we have to make sure everything is working fine, right? And for
Yes.
that, we have to test it multiple times. Correct?
Yeah, Vikas.
So with the multiple testing, we are making sure whatever code we are pushing, like whatever continuous deployment we are doing to the prod environment is correct. It's tested multiple times. It is not like disrupting my existing prod environment, right? Because continuous deployment is deploying to a prod environment, like deploying to your existing new web app or mobile app, right? You are receiving notification every month or every week. Let's say okay, there is new update for your web app or your mobile app. Please update it, right? So that is a production. You are a end user, right? So they have to make sure whatever update they are pushing it to prod is secure and tested, right? So first they will develop, they will do all the testing in this environment also. Second, they will be having one more environment which will be similar than prod. Okay, it will be like similar to your prod, like in every manner. Access will be same, your firewall rule will be same, port rule will be same. Everything will be same in your this environment stage as in your pre-prod. Like before deploying to end user, we will have one more environment that is test stage UAT pre-prod. You can say any name there, don't say all this name in an interview. You say you are having dev environment and you are having test environment, then you are having prod environment. Okay, don't say that you are having test stage UAT pre-prod, just say only one name there. Okay, then finally you will be having one more environment that will be your prod, right?
Yeah, Vikas. But some companies they're keeping like dev environment test and stage and
Yes,
prod also,
five
right?
environment also. Yeah, they are keeping five environment also.
Yeah, they keep again a pre-prod also separate
That's
environment.
correct. That's correct. Okay, I got T. Yeah. So, yep. And there will be one more environment which every company plans to use, but no one uses it. But still, there will be one more environment called sandbox to
Yeah,
play.
correct. Yeah,
Okay.
correct, Vikas.
Okay. Okay, let's try to understand those who have not worked on real time. We'll try to make them understand. So first we use CLI portal or PowerShell or anything. We choose any one of this and we created our this many resources so that my developer can come and work, right? I have to configure user access. I have to create first them, then give them right access, right? And all those things. Like this, we have to maintain three environment. Okay. Same, whatever we are having there in dev, we have to maintain in stage and we have to maintain it in prod also. Okay. So in development, we will give little bit of latency to developer so that they can make little bit here, there and changes. You can say developer will have little bit higher access in dev environment, but test and prod, they will not have any sort of access. It will be just you or the DevOps engineer who can deploy code to your prod environment. They cannot make any changes. Developer can only make changes in dev environment. Any question till here? Have you got at least that company is maintaining three environment minimum? It can be five, six also, but a minimum of three environment is required in case of agile scenario. That is one dev, one you took anything from this, and one you took in prod. So dev and prod is fixed. You have to choose one from this four.
Because what is UAT stand for?
User acceptance and testing.
Okay.
Okay. It's kind of again test environment. Test environment only we call UAT or test is the same. You can say them synonyms, right? So let me write there only UAT. Okay. Right. Anyone else has any doubt till here?
No,
We are,
Vikas.
we are trying to frame our roles here, right? How we'll explain myself there in the interview. Correct? I will say, okay, we are having, I'm working in Azure and Azure DevOps, right? Where I'm taking care of creation of resource, right? Configuring access, those things. Then I will come to that, okay, we are having three environment, dev, UAT, and prod, right? Then I will say, uh, then I will say what all resources are there in my environment, right? Virtual machine, storage account, VNet, and all those things. I will give the names, and then I will say I'm using Azure CLI for the automation, like creation of resource automation, right? And what we call that infrastructure as a code, correct? IAC. If you are automating resource creation using any of the tools, right? Or like any scripting language if you are using, correct? So if you're able to come till here, after that he might ask you one or two questions. If he's not asking, take a pause for 2 seconds, then expand the virtual machine, right? Once you explain, right, you have three environment and you have what all resources like I have virtual machine, storage, VNet, subnet, keyboard, Azure AD, repository, Azure DevOps. Take a pause of 2 3 seconds, and then if he asks something, that is fine. If not, then start going next, right? In virtual machine, what all things you are doing, start explaining that in virtual machine you are taking care of creation of virtual machine, any RDP issue, access issue, adding, removing uh, data disk, right? Taking care of data disk encryption, those things, right? So you have to say like that. Once VM details is completed, just wait for again 2 or 3 seconds. Let him ask if he has any questions. Then go to the storage account, right? First question they will ask, introduce yourself, right? So this is your introduction part we are trying to build here, right? How you will say in interview, right? You will have so right now we are trying to imagine, right? We are learning here, okay, how environment is looking like in real time environment, like in real time companies, right? Those who are not working on Azure. Any questions? Anyone? Any doubt? Like anything can be asked. We are trying to just understand how project will look like.
Here we go.
Yes, Ajit.
In a start, we gather the information from our customer. After that, we transfer the all detail to the developer team. in between all the process while we transferring the all the information which we gather from the
Yes, yes,
customer,
custom. Yes.
in between any engineer or any sort of other technical staff is involved.
So yeah, good question. So that's correct. So yeah, as part of 2 or 3 years experience, will not get that part. Okay, right now in my company, that is what happening. We are like I'm a client here. Infosys is our what you call um, partner who is helping us in supporting all this. So we are giving them requirement, right? What all things is required. So in requirement, right now we are deciding our architecture. Okay, are we going with virtual machine? Are we going with VNet? Then in VNet, what type of virtual network should look like, right? We are going through that. Okay, how many VNets will be there? How many subnets will be there? Okay, what will be the IP? Those all things we are deciding here. So what you are asking is about applications. Okay, so same thing, same way there will be a discussion on 1 minute. There will be discussion on environment also, right? That is your resources, because resources is required, correct? So same way there will be a requirement call, there will be architecture meeting, right? Where they will be discussing, okay, where we will be storing our code. So right now we have decided to go ahead with GitHub in my company, right? Earlier they were using DevOps. So those discussion will happen, right? Uh, we don't wanted to use DevOps pipeline anymore. We wanted to use GitHub Actions, right? Few company wanted to go with Jenkins, right? So those all discussion will happen. After discussion, you will get a overview what all resources you have to create, right? How virtual network has to be configured, right? How repository has to be configured, which DevOps tool you wanted to use. So yes, those discussion will happen first, then you will implement. Okay. So if you wanted to say that also, you can go through that also. But I don't think so. In 2 or 3 years, or even till 4 years also is required to mention that we are you are part of architecture discussion, because if you say architecture discussion there is lots of things, right? You have to respond, okay, why you are using Azure DevOps repository, what is the benefit of Azure DevOps repository, or Azure like in GitHub, why you wanted to use GitHub. So right now I tried creating some pipeline in GitHub Actions, and it is really fast. In Azure DevOps, if it is taking 3 minutes to run one pipeline, in GitHub it is taking hardly 1 minute, right? Which I find very good, right? So, like basically in those meetings, senior people will be there, or those who have very good knowledge of virtual network. In virtual network also they will design, right? Okay, what should be the virtual network CIDR IP ranges, right? What all firewall rule has to be applied on virtual network? How user from outside will connect to my virtual network? So those are high level of like discussion will happen in those. Don't go in more details in that. You can say, okay, you got a basically right, DevOps board, right? So you can say you got your task in DevOps board to create these many resources in dev environment, right? And we again forgot the most important thing. What is that? Resource group policy. Have not.
Yes, yes.
What else? And the most important is subscription.
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 Okay. See,
All
asking question is like now I also started remembering, right? Okay, we forgot these many things because we are having policy discussion. What all policy has to be applied? We are having discussion like how many subscription has to be there. Okay, these all things we are like discussing there. We are also having a discussion of, okay, which all management group will have what subscription, right? Those all things we are having discussions. Okay. Okay. Someone was saying something.
nothing because
Okay. Why is not showing a subscription? Okay. So yeah, first thing you will set subscription, then you will set resource group, right? So they can ask, there may be a question like, okay, are you managing this resource, this environment in separate subscription, or this environment in one subscription, or how you are managing your these different environments, right? There are different options to manage this environment, right? Either you can separate dev and UAT by a resource group, or you can separate dev and UAT with a subscription, right? You can have dev in one subscription, UAT in one subscription, and prod in one subscription, right? Or you can have a separate resource group. So go with separate resource group, that is much easier. Okay, as of now for you people, once you are fine, you can say, okay, we are managing a different subscription also. Okay, any other questions till now? Ajit, hope you got what you are trying to understand, right?
Yes, Vikas.
Yeah,
Anyone?
because RBAC roles will come, right? Role-based access control on this.
That's correct. So AD users, if I'm saying, there you can say, let's say Azure Active Directory configuration.
Yeah,
So yes, you have to define RBAC role, right?
yeah,
You have to configure RBAC roles. What all access you are giving to users, you have to define that, right? So yes, that is also part of your environment setup. Who just joined? Or did anyone left? Akshadhar. So where was the whiteboard? Anyone remember? Where did it go? The whiteboard. Okay, this is the wrong one. Okay. So any other questions? Any other point you wanted to add in this all the environments? Anyone? Okay, so at least you understood till here, right? How to introduce yourself and how to say, okay, how your environment is looking like, because all of you will be going to interview with an experience of a by saying, okay, you are having experience of this much, right? That's on Azure.
yeah.
Yes. So I guess Pawan is very good in this part. Tony, what about you? Will you able to explain till here? Maybe what you people can do, right? Go through this video once again, okay? Stop me, like pause the video, take a note, right? Whatever I'm saying, just write it down on a paper, okay, or on your notebook, and just like go through it 2 and 3 times, and you will able to say same thing there. Even I used to write when I was firstly attending interviews. I started, after giving 10 interviews around, I have not got selected. So because I was not able to give a good introduction at the first point of time. Okay, this is, I think, I started Azure interview giving in 2017 or 18. So then I felt, okay, let's write some introduction. Okay, keep it somewhere. So please
That is
start.
important, sir.
Yes, write it somewhere. Okay, whatever language you wanted to write, or wherever, what is like best suited for you, just write that. Okay, I'm just trying to explain you here what all things to include in your introduction. Okay, so you say, okay, hey, this is Vikas Singh. I'm working in this company, and where I'm working as a cloud administrator, cloud and DevOps administrator. Then how to take this conversation further? You say, right? You have to take this conversation further, right? When you say cloud administrator and DevOps, and then you have to say your role, right? What role you are playing there. So you have to say, okay, you are taking care of creation of virtual machines, or you can say in your company they are using these many resources like virtual machine storage, VNet, Subnet, Key Vault, Azure AD users, configure like Azure repository, add here DevOps, resource group policy and subscription. These all things are there, right? And you are managing all these resources as a DevOps engineer or Azure administrator. And then just take a pause. If he asks you something, that is fine. If he don't ask you anything, just go ahead. Try to give your introduction for 5 minutes and don't go in full speed. Okay, try to go slowly. You say, whatever the introduction I have given till now, just try to complete it in 30 second or 1 minute, the first part. Then start the second part, expanding resources. Like let's say in virtual machine, you are taking care of creation of virtual machine backup, sizing of virtual machine, taking care of adding data disk. So if you give 10 points in virtual machine, he will ask for sure one question in that 10 points, right? So I'm asking you to give him options, right? In virtual machine, what all work you have done, you know how to resolve access issue or RDP issue on a virtual machine. He must ask, okay, can you explain me how will you resolve this RDP issue? Or he may ask you what all steps you will do in resizing. Let's say I wanted to resize the virtual machine, what all step you will follow? Can anyone answer here? I'm asking to you people.
Yeah, we need to check log files, temporary files, and
Mhm. After that,
and after that, uh,
okay. Anyone else wanted to participate in this? Good answer, Pawan. Good starting
yeah,
stages.
we will usually use one tool called as a tree size, so that it will
That's
help
correct.
us to improve where exactly it has occupied the disk space, and accordingly to
Uh,
we are going to work on that to resize the disk.
that's correct. So that is for the disk resize. Let's say I wanted to resize the virtual machine. I wanted to scale it up. I wanted to assign some more memory and RAM, right?
Yeah, correct.
Uh, what all step will you follow to scale it up?
We should stop the virtual machine. Then we can
Mhm.
go to size, and whichever size we want to resize it, we can select it.
That's the correct answer, right? Before that, what you have to do, you have to also stop the application, right? You cannot keep your application running and stop your
Yeah,
virtualness.
yeah, we need to stop the database first, and then we need to.
That's correct. So see, things are coming from you people only, right? So you have to stop database, you have to stop IaaS. So this looks real time, right? If you say just I will go to sizing and I will select other size and I will resize it, that will also work fine. Your application will be working fine because this Microsoft or any other operating system which we are using, they are making sure that every connection is restored after your machine is restarted. But if you do it explicitly, that will give them more faith on you. Okay, you know what all will happen, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
correct.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Nothing much.
Mm.
But
So, Nick, mm,
while running some applications, there may be some dependencies on the servers, right? We need to go on the
that's
floor.
That's correct. So that's what you have to stop these things. I have given you right when we have enabled for WW services. You have seen that IIS services is running right, Internet Information Service. You can do this task at your home. Create a virtual machine, install IIS on top of that. After installing IIS, try to resize. What all steps to resize? Just follow that, right? Stop IIS at least, then shut down the virtual machine, right? Or stop from Azure portal or CLI, resize it, start virtual machine, and then again start IaaS services. That is the correct way, right? So,
Yeah, correct, because
so you have to go through these all steps, right? So just go one by one and explain these things. If they are asking an interview, no one can stop you from selecting, okay? From the selection if you are explaining in this way. So yeah, that's all about the virtual machine, right? So we have discussed about 5 minutes on virtual machine, right? So that's how you have to take the interview. Like minimum it will be for 30 minutes. In some company they will take it for 1 hour also, right? So try to keep it for at least 30 minutes. Don't lose hope in at the first point only. Okay, he asked me some question, I'm unable to answer. Just try to learn there also. Okay. Hope I can expect a explanation from you people. At least maybe next Friday, I will ask you people to introduce yourself. I will give 5 to 10 minutes slot for everyone, and I wanted to hear how you are explaining yourself. Yeah, obviously we'll have some resume discussion. Uh, so once you have given me the updated resume, we'll go through it and we'll try to see if there is any changes required or it is okay, and then we will have introduction. So please be ready with the introduction by next Friday. Or if you are with ready by this week also, that is also fine. Okay.
Sure, Vikas.
Yeah. So that is that. What else we can add to this picture?
Because
Yes, Tony.
like they're asking question like how many resources you are virtual machine you are creating, like each environment means.
That's correct. They will ask how many virtual machine you have in your each environment. So good question again. How many we should have? Let's say I am running a simple application. What is the minimum number of virtual machine you need for zero downtime? Or you can say, I'm not getting the exact point. One question was asked to me, same question. Okay, they asked me how many virtual machines is required for let's say zero downtime only, or you can say to avoid single point of failure. Everyone.
We need at least 3 virtual machine.
Mhm. Okay. Anyone else wanted to
If
answer?
any machine is goes down, then
Mhm.
other machine will help to run the application.
That's correct. Anyone else wanted to add something?
No, Vikas. It's
Mm,
fine.
yeah. Yes, that's correct answer. Yes, Tony, you are saying something?
Yeah, availability set and availability zones.
Yes, we have to configure them in availability set and availability zone. That is also correct, right? So, yeah, a minimum of
We
three
can
virtual.
also use availability set and availability zone, and then we can use load balancer also.
Yes, those things will be there. We have to use load balancer also. That's correct. The things are coming from you people only, right? So Ajit said it correctly that you need three virtual machine. That was the correct answer for single point of failure. Then we can keep them in the availability set, right? To increase the availability, right? And then we can use load balancers also, right? Who said load balancer? Was it Pawan?
Yeah, me because
Okay. Yeah. Yes. So yes, why minimum three is required? Let's say my one virtual machine failed, right? There may be a question, right? Why three is required, right? Let's say this is virtual machine one, right? This is virtual machine two. This is virtual machine three, right? Let's understand why this three virtual machine is required. Just forget availability set, load balancer, and all, right? So if you are saying three, there will be a question, right? Why? Correct. So why is like, let's say this virtual machine one failed, right? And I have to avoid single point of failure. And if I'm keeping just two, then again I am at same point, right? That is single point of failure is my virtual machine two. If something goes wrong to virtual machine two, that is a single point of failure, right? Till the
yeah,
time my virtual machine is not up and running, correct? That's why we are maintaining three. That if one goes down, also we'll have at least two virtual machine up and running to avoid single point of failure, correct? And
yeah, Vikas.
yeah, we subsequently will try to recover this virtual machine one, right? We are admin, we will try to troubleshoot why this virtual machine is not working. What all step you will take if this virtual machine is not working? No Pawan, no Tony, and no Akshay. I want this from Vishal and Ajit. Or maybe let's Vishal, you have not answered. What all step you will take, Vishal? Let's say one virtual machine is down. Application team reached out to you and asked, okay, sir, my virtual machine is down. Can you take care of this? Or there is a ticket in your queue. They have assigned a ServiceNow ticket or ITSM ticket that virtual machine one is down. Application is not accessible on virtual machine one. What will you do? Try to try to give any answer. That is fine. At least what will you do once after you got the virtual machine name?
Yes, I'm not getting any point regarding this.
Okay. At least you will
Like,
able to find this virtual machine in portal.
yes.
Yeah. Do same thing. No, you say same thing. You will identify that you will get the virtual machine name. You will find it in Azure subscription. First thing you will do that, right? Then what all options you can do in Azure portal with your virtual machine? You can see
Yes,
the current state, right? What is the current state of your virtual machine? Don't take it in tough way, just take in easier way, right? What all things we can do with virtual machine? I can see the state, it is running, it is stopped, what it is, right? Correct. After that, you can see the if let's say virtual machine is running, what next step you will do? Ajit, you wanted to add anything on that? Let's say you have gone to virtual machine to subscription, and then you have seen your virtual machine is running. What will be the next step?
After we find the bugs which are
Okay.
which occurred over the virtual machine.
And that is the last step. Okay,
Uh,
no problem. Okay, Akshadar, you wanted to add anything? What will you do? No? Tony, will you add 2, 3 points to the troubleshooting?
Yeah, we will check the logs, like why the server went down.
That is the last step. I'm saying you have seen your virtual machine is running. What next you will do? Even to check the logs also. Which log you wanted to check?
We need to check the application services, because
Like, okay, you wanted to check the services. To check services, what you have to do? You have to log into the virtual machine, right? You have to connect to it, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
we will,
yes, correct.
Right. So
Yeah,
first you will connect, then you have to check like all of you know this answer, right? But just you are not able to answer it, correct? You have to check CPU and memory is running fine or not. Then you will go to application, right? You will not just directly go to the application. You will check the disk if disk is full or not. We have discussed disk, right? You have said you have to increase the disk, run the tree size. Why you running this tree size? There must be some slowness or there is some request which came in, right? So
yeah,
so yes, you all know that we'll connect to virtual machine. We'll try to see what is the current CPU or memory uses, right? For that virtual machine, is it like going high, 90%, 80%, or something like those cases also our virtual machine will go down, right? Let's say there is continuous disk write, right? We'll see what is the disk uses, right? So if those things are high, that will take our virtual machine down, right? Let's say my virtual machine CPU usage is 100%. Or memory usage is 100% from last 1 hour, that may cause our virtual machine go down, right? So you can check in portal what is the current in like a monitoring part, right? For last 24 hours CPU memory usage, or you will have some monitoring tool from where you can check it, right? Where you are basically showing
yes,
some
Vikas.
diagnostic log, right? So yes, that's fine. It's our first day. We are trying to ask interview questions. So if you're not able to answer also, if you're adding one thing also, that is helpful for you, right? You will learn 4, 5 things from other people also as a discussion here, correct? So that's good start with your virtual machine, right? Tony asked, okay, how many virtual machines is required, which took us till here. So yes, Tony, so minimum of 3 is required if you are maintaining one single application, or it can be a virtual machine skill set also. So we have not gone through a virtual machine skill set. VM is currently outdated. Very few company are using virtual machine. Everyone using container or web app or something like that. So we have to go through web app, right? And containers little bit. Yeah, still there are companies who are large organization. They still believe virtual machine is our everything. They used to go there, but yes, most of new companies they will prefer go to web app or containerized because there is very easier to move in and move out if you are going on container. Same thing with web app. No need to manage operating system and pay for licensing and all other things there, right? They will just do. But yes, this will also help you because at the end, virtual machine is everything. On top of virtual machine only, we have web app. On top of virtual machine only, we have containers, right? So yeah, having a good understanding or very good understanding of virtual machine, if you able to answer them, they will get take you for sure because learning web app is very easy if you know virtual machine. Okay, even for container also it will be easy for you because you know where it will be stored, right? On top of which it will be stored. So that's fine. Okay, anything else, Tony, you wanted to add? Any other question? I like we know that you have given one interview. Would you like to explain something? 10 minutes. How was it? Like what all question they have asked? It will be helpful for others.
yeah, sure. They ask like about DevOps, like about CI/CD, and like what type of code we are using.
Okay, so yeah, let's put this question on this group. Okay, DevOps. What type of CI/CD and what you said? Can you ask this question again, Tony?
like explain about CI/CD and like what type of code we are using in task.
Can anyone answer this question? Like whatever we have gone through classes, I want answers from that only. I don't want answer from outside. Okay, it's a complete silence.
Yeah, first we are going to create the organization, and then we're going to create the project,
Mm,
and then we are going to work on this boards
mhm,
and workflows in the boards,
mhm, mhm,
and after that we are going to create the repositories, and we are going to assign the tasks by using the boards,
mhm.
and
Mm,
we are going to create the pipelines after that.
mhm. So pretty
And
much
he after
yes,
that
complete.
we are using here code CLI to
Yeah.
deploy the virtual machines and everything. We have done these
So
tasks
mhm,
on our classes as per my
that's correct.
knowledge.
So yes, Vishal, Ajit, why you're not answering, and even Akshadhar also.
Yes.
You could have answered, right? CLI, you are using code, right? I'm not. I don't want expect the answer like high level. You are using Node.js or JavaScript or let's say any other Python or something, right? At least you can say, right? You are using CLI. You are Azure admin. You are using CLI to deploy
Hello,
your
Vikas.
resources.
Are you
Yes.
saying something? My internet connection is goes lost. That's why I not hear the what you said.
No, no. Like we are discussing questions from Tony's interview. He attended one interview and he is giving his experience here. So I request all of you, whoever attending any interview, please come forward and try to explain here. You will get something. Another person also will get something, right? So Tony, to your question, you have answered it very well. Just you have to little bit frame it. Okay, you answered correctly. Same thing you would have noticed that Pawan is also answered. Pawan has also answered, right? But his answer is little bit better than you. You can just add some more points to your this question. Correct, Tony? Yeah. Yes. So yes. Uh, okay. Let's go to next part, Tony.
Hello, Vikas. Can you repeat the question? Which interviewer is asked from the Chedar?
Okay. No problem.
Just restate the question. I don't get the
Hmm.
question.
Okay. Question was like, okay, what CI/CD you are using and which code you are using. Explain your explain CI/CD in your environment and the code which you are using in your CI/CD environment. Pipeline, CI/CD is pipeline. Which code you are using?
JSON. JSON is
Okay.
the code format through which
Have you
we.
have you used JSON till now?
No, no, no. But I saw the code somewhere.
Okay. Are we not using CLI to deploy our resources? I'm not asking
Mm,
you from outside. I'm asking whatever we have gone through from that only answer. Okay. What are things you can do in DevOps? What are things you know in DevOps? Okay, no problem. That's fine. So yeah, it's like matter of like clicking when they are asking question. It's matter of clicking. I can guarantee you, every one of you will able to do whatever Pawan has explained, right? You will able to create organization. You will able to create project. You must have done, right? Vishal also created project, right? You also configured repository, Vishal, correct? You have also
Yes,
created
yes.
pipeline, correct? You have done all those things. Just it's matter of clicking during the interview. So you have to ready for that. We have to write it down somewhere, right? Okay, Tony, you want to ask any other question which you wanted to get help in during the interview which is asked?
The remaining things they ask normal only, like about
Mm-hmm.
storage account and difference between block and file storage and
Mm-hmm.
CDN,
Okay. Okay.
about git pull and git merge.
Okay. Git pull and git merge. We have not discussed. We will go through that. Don't worry. Git pull and git merge. Like all git command will go through it. Okay. There may be one question in git. Okay. In that. Okay.
Yeah, because I got one question from an interviewer. Is
Mm,
asking basically, some customer has reached out to you
mm,
regarding to they have to migrate their virtual machines to Azure, but
mhm,
they don't know about the Azure. But you want to explain about the scenarios, how it works and everything, and
mm.
how you are going to perform these tasks, and like this is asked one question, the scenario based one.
Okay, that's very good question. Mm, That's a really very good question. Mm. Anyone wants to
Uh,
answer this question?
this is my first interview question, so that I have not given correct answer for that.
That's fine. It's okay. It's okay. We are just trying to discuss here, so it's fine. Anyone want to answer? Take Akshedar, Tony. Any answer is acceptable, man. Even
Yes,
Vishal, you
Vikas.
can also answer. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, because uh, okay, while
Mm, mm,
answering the question, we can compare two, three service provider, and we put Azure on the top, or we show it's all facilities that is given by Azure.
mm-hmm. That's correct. Going correct. That's what like this answer lies in our first class, right? Where we have discussed different service provider, different cloud service provider, right? Why we are moving to cloud, right? We have to explain, as Pawan said, customer don't know anything about cloud or Azure, right? So first we have to make him understand what is Azure. We have to tell him what is cloud, right? So yeah, first part is over, Vishal. Then what is the next part? How will you migrate this virtual machine? Let's say customer now understood what is Azure, why to move to Azure, right? So you got your
Y-
first part right, Pawan?
Yeah, correct, Vishal.
Hmm.
And then
Hmm.
we need to, yeah, that's correct.
Hmm. Okay. Migration we have not gone through, but anyone want to take a chance? What all we will do if you wanted to migrate a virtual machine to
Yes,
cloud?
because also we have to make him aware about the term and condition and the price and the pricing conditions what all have in Azure.
That's correct. That is like moving to, let's say, okay, he decided to move to Microsoft Azure, then you are giving him a heads up about the pricing and other things, right? That is also correct. Not a bad answer. Any, what else we can add?
We can explain about like what is difference between their on-premises and cloud, like benefits.
Yeah, that's correct. So yeah, these all are like part of first and second, right? Like what is Azure and what is Azure VM, right? How anyone able to answer how to move this virtual machine? Let's say he agreed, you have given all the information. Anyone has any idea how to move a virtual machine? Okay, no problem. That's also fine. Pawan, have you gone through this?
Yeah, first we need after these three answers are correct, and after that
Mm-hmm.
we need to explain about the subscription, how to get the subscription, what are the types of subscriptions we Microsoft has providing,
Uh-huh.
and then in that the whatever the customers likes we're going to provide that, and we are going to create the
Uh-huh.
management group, and we are going to create the custom domain for the user, and we are going to migrate this, like if suppose the user needs to want the access the Azure resources, so then we can migrate this particular OUs or complete directories first, and then we are going to create the rollback access, I mean RBAC roles and policies.
Uh-huh.
Suppose some company wants to the particular region, that time we need to create the policies, right, based on the subscription or management group.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
after that we need to consider the application scenarios, what are all the applications user are using, like the
Uh-huh.
user is using legacy or and whether the servers are are up and running the way like Microsoft is supporting or not. Like some clients they are having like 2008 and this
2000,
2000.
2003 also.
Yeah, these kind retired servers, right? So
Yeah,
the Microsoft will not support for that.
that's
So we need
correct.
to explain about the scenario for that.
That's correct. So yes, long answer short again. So this one question, if you explain it, you can take 1 hour or 2 hour. You can take it as much as you want, right? This one question If you're answering it correctly, you can guarantee your selection, right? There is lots of thing to this answer, right? This question. He said
Mm.
customer don't know anything about Azure. So you have to explain how to get a subscription also. We have added one more point here, right? Which Pawan said, subscription. Tony added 1 point. Vishal added 2 points. We got 4 points here, right? Please go through this. Take a note, right? This is very good questions, right? So after that, go ahead.
Uh, After that, we like whether the application is legacy one or the normal one. So what are the dependencies of the application? So and
Okay, don't go in that far. Everyone will not understand. Okay,
yes,
that's fine. So yeah, we are beginners. So to sort this answer, like yeah, you have to explain about cloud first, then you have to explain about Azure, then you have to explain the steps to buy the subscription. You have to explain how will you configure RPAC and other things in Azure, right? Then you have to like there is a tool provided by Microsoft, like VM virtual machine migrate or Azure migrate basically, where you can migrate database,
yeah,
virtual machine. So you can use
yeah,
that tool to identify if that virtual machine is able to like you can lift and shift
yeah. We
to
can test it.
Azure.
We can test it by using that Azure Migrate.
That's
And
correct.
before that, we have another
Hmm.
Azure Site Recovery also to
Azure
migrate the
Site
virtual machine.
Recovery, yes, you can basically use Azure Site Recovery to replicate your on-premises virtual machine on Azure, and then you see that if it is in Azure working fine, you can shut down your on-premises and you can start using your Azure virtual machine. So there are different ways, but yes, we are going very good. I don't see any answer from Akshay. Did he sleep? Was he night shift or any P1 is going on Akshay, or did he live? I think he's not there on call. Akshay, he's there on call. No, no. P2, P1.
Hello, Vikas.
Hmm. Yes,
If any
Nikhil.
customer using the AWS portal,
Hmm.
he want to migrate to Azure portal,
Hmm.
then what are the how they transfer their all the data from the AWS to Azure?
It is also possible. Lots of customers are doing that. Flipkart is one of the example. Flipkart is on AWS, right? So now Amazon has got Walmart, right? Walmart and Amazon, they are don't know. I think there is some connection between them, or either they are from same parent or they are the same company, right? So now Flipkart wanted to migrate everything from Amazon to Azure or GCP because two computer cannot be on same cloud. That is some reason. Some article came, I think, last year when Walmart came in India. Okay, so yeah, this scenario will come in picture. So again, there are different tool to migrate that. Okay, so you can get it. You can like treat AWS as your on-premises, and you can do migration kind of thing also. That's what if it is a web app, you just have to change your destination and you can deploy to Azure, right? If it is a container, you have all the images stored, you can directly deploy to Azure containers, right? With few slight modification, you have to create your environment and just deploy it to Azure. So data moving also, there are lots of parts you can, if it is in Azure, like S3 bucket of AWS, so you can move it to storage. Like in AWS, we call it S3. Okay, and here we call virtual machine in Azure. We in AWS we call it EC, Elastic Compute. Okay, EC3, EC2, there are different names. So yes,
EC2,
uh,
EC2.
yes, EC2. Yeah,
Yes.
we can move them. Okay, so yeah, that's a good start. Like you can explore some these kind of scenarios. You can get it. Okay. Okay, it's 9:20. Anyone else wanted to discuss anything? I'm starving again. It's long discussion today, right? And hope it was interactive and helpful.
Yes, Vikas, it was.
Yes, yes, because
Um, Tony, not getting any response.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe, like, if I say
Hmm?
like yes, I work in like a cloud admin. Yes, like how many virtual machines are created? Like
Mm. Okay, I'm unable to hear you clearly a little bit, but I guess you are asking how many virtual machine will be are there, right, in your company?
No, like, AI,
Yeah,
how many people have I created in this past 2 years?
yeah, that's correct. So, what you wanted to answer to this question?
No, I'm unable
Yeah,
to hear because the question.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, question is like, how many virtual machine you have created in last 2 years in your current organization, and currently how many virtual machines are there up and running?
Okay, so here just like we have three environments.
Mm,
One is staging, one is test, and one
mm,
is for production. And
mm,
dev environment we are managing on Hyper-V. So
mm,
and there we have test environment. We have like little like each server we have one. So
mm,
like almost 10 servers, and test and staging complete 20 servers, and
mm,
production server like we have three missions for
mm,
availability.
mm,
So it will come around like 30 missions. So overall 50 it should be.
mm. You got your answer, Tony? That is real time.
Yeah, I guess. But
Yes.
we created or like already it has been created and we are like just managing that.
So yeah.
I just gone through like test environment, like 10 virtual machines I've created. Production such that we can migrate directly from on-prem to Azure. So because if we go with the new ones, then there are a lot of considerations again we need to do with that. So because we can need to eliminate those things, means we can directly migrate this virtual machines to Azure.
Mhm. Okay. So yeah, Tony, you can answer like this. Let's say you can say the three environments you have, right? So we are going through in that way. You have dev, UA, UAT, or test and prod, right? So you can say a minimum of three virtual machine is required for any application to uh, like avoid single point of failure or high availability, right? After that, you can say any number. You can say in dev you have having 10 virtual machine. In test, you are having around 20 or 30 virtual machines, and prod you are having three or four virtual machines. Sorry, again 20 virtual machines, right? Or in multiple of three also you can say that like that. So if mostly they will not ask this question. If they have asked, they just wanted to check is it real or not. Okay, so maybe you can just connect with Pawan once and try to understand his environment of virtual machine. Okay, and try to understand how it looks like and take a note on that. Okay, because virtual machine nowadays no one is using. So yes, if Pawan company is still using, maybe it will be big company or something like that. So you
No,
can
actually, because we are the providers of the application, so
okay,
that's why we are managing the virtual machines still.
okay, okay,
So
okay,
our application is completely working on based on virtual machines.
okay. Those legacy applications kind of.
It's on a .NET framework, .NET frame application. So there is
Okay,
no legacy, but
okay,
still they are
so
using virtual machines.
okay. .NET web app you are having options, right? Packaging also can be done on
Yeah,
containers.
but still the company will prefer for that
Virtual,
only.
yeah, there may
Virtual
be
machine.
some, yeah, there they will be having something. Okay. Yes, so Tony, there's around 30 to 40 virtual machine. He said, like around 50 virtual machine, as Pawan said, uh, there are in his company, and he said he created 10 virtual machine out of 50, right? So 20% is his share. So yes, you can say around 3 4 members you are having in your team, and there are
Yeah,
50
because
virtual.
we have usually five members, so one on
Mm,
one we will take the considerations.
that's correct. So yeah, likewise we distribute. You say okay, around 10 to 12 virtual machine you have created, and
Yeah, okay, Gus.
yes, and also it will be not like I'm not sure how Pawan is creating. Are you creating it via portal or are you using it some automation?
No, PowerShell we are using.
Oh, okay, okay, that's fine. Um,
For deploying web applications, we are using Ansible.
Okay, that is
I
also
mean,
good.
any Windows features we need to deploy, so we are using Ansible playbooks.
Okay, that is
Uh,
also good.
I haven't worked on that, but I get this information from one of my senior.
Mhm. Okay, that is also good. So yeah, no problem. It's good. Like try to explore your environment, Pawan. Everything is there because Ansible is there. You know, web app is also there using. We'll get more real-time things there, and here we will understand. We'll learn new things in DevOps and clubbing both. You can you can drop like that. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, okay. Let's give some time to Vishal, Ajit, if you have anything.
Oh, Vikas.
Yeah. Ajit.
No, Vikas, right now I don't have any question.
Mhm. No problem. That's fine. Tony, anything else you have?
No.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, you have to think, Tony, like little bit. Imagine, like, okay, let's say there are this kind of virtual machine. You have to imagine how virtual machine works and how application will be installed on that, and you have to make a some hypothetical number, right? Okay, okay, I need this many virtual machine, and from that, right now Pawan is there in our class, so we are able to get his experience like in current environment, right? So it is good for us. We can try to explain that only, right? That we are having these many virtual machine in place, stage, and prod. Okay. Okay, 9:27. Let's meet on Monday. Uh, by then, please practice. Please go through this video also. It will help you in interview. And yes, please come along, complete all the DevOps tasks which we have done till now. Uh, Again, Monday we will go through DevOps only. There are lots of things pending in DevOps. Right now we have just understand the basic of DevOps. Okay, there is lot
Vikas,
still. Hmm.
each Azure Active Directory are all over the all the tasks which we used to we used to perform over the over the Azure portal or the CLI, where we use the Azure Active Directory.
Hmm. I didn't get your question. Are you trying to
I'm
understand? Yeah.
yes, I'm saying the wrong sentence.
Mhm.
I'm saying the Azure Active Directory are all over the are available in all the part of the Azure portal.
Yes, of course, yes. You have RBAC, you have IAM, right? Identity and
Okay.
access management for every resources, right? You have managed identity. So Active Directory is basically, we have gone through Active Directory, right? Again, so Active Directory is basically your identity and access management, or it will store your users and groups, and even it will store your company devices, right? You can integrate devices, right? Even it will maintain all the details, right? What all service principal you have created, who all are the users, what all enterprise applications, these all things.
Mhm.
Basically, it's a kind of your uh, identity and access, like cloud identity and access provider, Azure Active Directory. But yes, it has other features also, correct? So, and you need access everywhere, right? Any
Yes,
resource
yes.
you create, you have to play with access, and wherever access comes in picture, Azure Active Directory has to be there if it is Azure, right?
Okay.
Okay then. Uh, let's stop here and let's meet on Monday. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Thank you,
please try.
Vikas.
Vikas.
Yeah. Please try to give some interview on Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye bye.
Vikas. And thank you
Thank
all the members.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you all. Bye.
Bye bye.